guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is my guy, he's 29 years old, and he shares his story how just a matter of weeks ago, in June, he ended his 4-year relationship with his now ex-fiancée. After wait for it, he discovered that she obviously was up to no good. And what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to see she was away on some girls' weekend with some old high school friends, and because she was drinking and obviously not paying attention, she wasn't covering her tracks too well, and her guy obviously connected the dots on social media. And to no surprise, this guy handles things like a boss, by kicking her to the curb. But let me tell you, he doesn't kick her to the curb until there's obviously some fireworks in her part. I'll be very going to go over here, guys. Another success, well, we can call it a success story because our guy handled like a boss, but sadly, he wasted 4 years of his life, got his heart broken, all that. But it's a success that he dodged a big one. And in part, as you're going to see, that his father, and this story really helps him out. His dad is a guy that all you guys are going to like, big time. His dad is old school, and certainly R-pilled, probably not even knowing what being R-pilled is. And I'll be going to go over here, guys, as a reminder for all you relationship guys, that when there's smoke, there's fire. And if you see something's wrong, do some investigating. Pay attention to red flags. And if obviously it's too much, cut ties. Don't believe the BS stories, because it is amazing, truly remarkable of how women can lie through their teeth and put on the big performance. And you think everything's okay, and meanwhile they're cheating on you, your whole relationship. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. Oh, and by the way, also, this guy's looking for some feedback at the end because he wants to make sure that obviously, I think he's pretty certain that he made the right choice here, but still you guys can reassure him in the end. So it starts off, says here, hello SSM. I was recently turned on to your channel and decided to send in my own story after watching a bunch of your videos. The one that made my decision was one you shared a few months ago about a guy who spent a weekend with his dad and grandfather after breaking up with his girl. I remember that one. That was right before Christmas. That was a really darn good one. If you guys haven't seen that one, definitely check it out. I'll post a link in the description as well as in the top of the comment section in case you missed it. It's a real good video. Some of the pearls of wisdom that were shared in that video were pure gold, and it reminded me of my own father. My story covers my recent breakup in June of 2024 with my then fiancée, but it's more about the knowledge my dad shared with me at the time. Hopefully you'll find something useful, but if not, just accept my thanks for the videos you put out. They really helped me see things more clearly and let me know I'm not alone. Bro, you are not alone. There are guys, and by the way, welcome to the community. You're obviously relatively new. There are guys all over the world that tune in every day and have each other's backs. And this crap happens to just so many guys around the world. Not just here in the USA, around the whole motherfucking world. And so they understand they got your back. Like you mentioned in a few of your videos, I've changed all the names. You can call me David. I'm 29 and my ex-fiancée Rachel is 26. How we met isn't all that interesting or important, but we dated for a little more than 3 years before getting engaged with an understanding it would be at least 2-year engagement to make sure we were compatible. Smack! Bro, you knew her 3 years and that's when you popped the question? That's too soon. And I know you're aware of that now. Now, that was good that you were going to wait 2 years before, 2 years of living with her just to make sure you got to see what she's really like living with her. So I'm glad you did that. But 3 years is way too soon to propose. I know some people are going to disagree with me, but you do this long enough, guys. You hear these stories, and not to mention my own personal life experience here and 46 and a half years on this planet backs up why I say that's too soon to pop the question. It also gave us a little time to live together to see if we could stand being around each other for so much time. For the most part, we were doing great. Sure, we had some minor disagreements, but nothing that I would consider deal breakers. Mostly about how to decorate the house, which movies or TV shows to watch, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's normal disagreements, guys. Or who holds the fucking remote. That's a whole battle in itself. That's why it's good to have 2 remotes. Split the power. For the most part, we were very compatible. Neither of us liked going out clubbing or the party scene, and most of our friends were in committed relationships. We didn't spend time with single friends, and we agreed early on that there is no such thing as privacy when it comes to phones and computers. One thing that we both agreed on was there be no friends of the opposite sex. I know it probably sounds more like a job interview, but at the insistence of my dad, it was clear and open with my expectations. I was clear and open with my expectations, and I encouraged her to do the same. In short, we were planning for a future together, and I thought we were on the same page. So already he's giving some info about his dad. His dad mentioned that. Obviously, lay out your terms. Lay out the boundaries, that type of thing. So there's no, surprises. Well, you lay out your boundaries, you lay out your terms, and it should be a surprise to her. And I like the fact that no friends of the opposite sex. You can have acquaintances, but this is nobody you're hanging out with. You're not hanging out with other chicks. You're not texting with other chicks. And she shouldn't be doing the same to other guys. So we've been together for a little more than 4 years when it all came to an end earlier this year in June. We were a year into our engagement, and I didn't see any behaviors that made me nervous, so when it all fell apart, I was pretty torn up about it. But thanks to my dad, I've been able to get my feet back under me and move forward. Awesome. I'm sorry it's happened, bro. I really am. I mean, that's 4 years of your life, And I'm sure maybe you had some good times there, and probably had a lot of good sex, I hope. But, you question everything. We live in my hometown, not too far away from my parents. Rachel and my mom get along great, which also caused some problems, but I'll get to that later. My dad, what can I say about my dad? He's the strongest guy I know. Not just physically, he's 6'4", bald, and looks like he can rip your arms off and beat you to death with them. But I know his secret. He's imposing as hell and stoic around everyone. But growing up, he's the most loving person I know. That's great. 6'4", giant dude, bald. This guy's, give him a fucking black cape. He's like goddamn Darth Vader. And Vader could rip your fucking arms off with his bionic arms. When we were alone, my dad dropped the act, and we always had great conversations. He told me once that it's okay for a man to show love, but it's a mortal sin to show weakness. Hear that, guys? Oh, he works as an electrician when he's not riding his Harley. He's the one person on earth that I can talk to about anything, and I mean anything. Sometimes his advice was thoughtful and sometimes blunt, but it was all with my best intentions in mind. I trust him and his judgment. Yeah, guys, you need someone that's going to tell you the truth and be blunt, because obviously you don't want somebody to be a jerk about it, but it doesn't help you to have somebody sugarcoat it or dance around the issue. Women are the ones that tiptoe around things, don't want to hurt your feelings. And I'm not saying go out and deliberately be a jerk to people but that need to hear the truth, but you gotta tell them. Rachel's parents live 2 states away, and this past June, she went to visit them for a couple weeks. I couldn't go with her due to work, but that's fine. She would normally see them 2 or 3 times a year, and they're coming to visit us a couple times since we started dating. From what I could tell, they liked me well enough, and our dads got along great. It was during that trip that our relationship came to an end, and now a few months later, I still have some mutual friends trying to give me shit about how I handled everything. Well, tell them to fuck off. It's not their business. It's your life. All right? It's situations which is about to occur, guys, when you find out these little moments in life, who your friends are and who your friends are not. The first couple of days after Rachel left, she would call and text me periodically through the day. But after the 3rd day, she started to slow down. I figured she was just catching up with her friends and spending time with her parents. She would call me around bedtime to talk, but after a few days of that, the conversations became shorter and less descriptive of what she did all day. I didn't give it too much thought at the time. On one of those calls, she let me know she and a bunch of her high school friends were going to an amusement park that coming weekend, and I told her to have fun. See, this guy, he's being trusting. Okay, go have a good time, babe. I want you to enjoy yourself, and I'll see you when you get back. And yeah, after a few days, you have less things to talk about. Okay, fine. But he could just tell something was off. The next day, I didn't hear from her at all, and her trip to the park was the day afterwards. Now, there's a red flag. If he's hearing from her every day, even if it's, not as much, not much to talk about, all of a sudden, nothing the whole day. I figure she's just getting everything ready and was busy. She did call me in the morning of her visit, and we talked a little bit, and she cut the call short, saying her friends were there to pick her up. Told her to have a good time, and to call me when she gets home. Nothing unusual. It was a Saturday, and I spent most of the day just hanging out at the apartment and catching up on some sleep. It was around noon when I checked her Facebook and saw she had posted a bunch of pictures of her and her friends having fun at the park. She was hanging out with 3 couples. I knew one of the ladies as her best friend from high school, but I did not know the other 2. I was glad she was having fun and went on with my day without any concerns. I checked her page later that evening, around 8 p.m. I think I saw a bunch more pictures posted. All in the same strain as the previous ones, still nothing out of the ordinary. I didn't go to bed until nearly 11 p.m. and still hadn't heard from Rachel. I figured she was just busy catching up with her friends and didn't worry about it. You know, it takes seconds to send a text, and if they're engaged, you know, if they've been together 4 years, they're engaged. Honestly, you'd think she'd still be very eager to check up on him, see how he's doing, blah blah blah. A quick text. You know, showing off to her friends and she's talking to her fiancé because he's such an amazing guy, that type of thing. So in the morning, I checked my phone and saw a text from Rachel apologizing for not calling me and said she was busy. The message isn't what bothered me. It was the time that she sent it. She texted me around 4 o'clock in the morning. If she didn't go to bed until that late, I was wondering what she was doing and figured I wouldn't hear from her until later in the day, since she was probably going to be sleeping until the afternoon. 4 a.m., huh? With nothing else to do for a while, I got up and got my day started. After breakfast, I decided to see if she posted any more pictures and checked her page again. There were more pictures, but the last set were at a bar and all of them looked like they were having fun, holding up their drinks and smiling. Aside from being at a bar, I still didn't see anything out of the ordinary, and that probably explained why I didn't hear from her the previous night. I almost closed out the page when something caught my eye. What could that be? I didn't see it at first, but for whatever reason, Rachel wasn't wearing her engagement ring. Red flag. Not that there weren't any already, but major red flag. Guys, newsflash. When a gal gets engaged and she's counting the days to the wedding and looking at the stupid bridal magazines and picking out the dresses and planning who's going to be her maid of honor and all that crap, she's more than happy to show off that ring. Oh, any chance she can get to, ooh, look at me, showing her big ass diamond ring or whatever the fuck what it looks like. She's showing it off. This ain't no accident. Taking off the ring, a bunch of girls at a bar where there's drinking and there's other dudes. But of course, she's drinking, not paying attention. People are taking pictures and it didn't make any sense to me, and I started looking at all the pictures from before, and now that I knew what I was looking for, it was easy to see that her ring was missing in all the photos where I could see her hands. So it's not like she just, took it off for some reason and she went to the bathroom and didn't want soap underneath her ring or something like that and it was drying off. She wasn't wearing her ring the entire time in all those pictures. That bothered me, and I was trying to come up with some acceptable reason for her not to be wearing her ring. While I was thinking about different possibilities, I went to her BFF's page to see what pictures, if any, she posted. There are a lot of the same old photos I'd already seen there, but there were some more that had got my gut doing backflips. There were 3 in particular. Rachel was not intended to be in any of them. I'm assuming because there was one where she and another guy were holding hands in the background, and 2 at the bar, also in the background where the same guy had his arm around her. Now we know why she wasn't wearing the engagement ring. Remember, guys, they want to show off that stupid ring and have all their girlfriends be jealous of them and that type of bullshit. Pictures that he wasn't supposed to, her dumbass friend upload the pictures not even thinking about it. And there she is, red-handed, holding some other dude's hand, his arm around her, that type of thing. Now you know why you're not hearing much from her. Now you know why the engagement ring wasn't there. And now you have to ask yourself lots of questions. Does this happen every single time she goes away to see her family? As he mentioned, she does this 2 or 3 times a year. How long has this been going on? Who's this jackass in the picture? On and on and on. Doesn't seem like she's too in love with you now. I mean, no offense. This poor guy here. I saved the pictures at first, and I was going to call her and ask her what was going on. But I figured if she was doing something she shouldn't have been, she would just lie to me. I ended up driving to my parents' house to get their opinion before I did anything drastic. Very smart. When I got there, I sat my parents down and showed them what I found and was doing everything I could to come up with some excuse to not make it look as bad as it was. My mom was ardently supporting Rachel, saying she would never cheat on me. So, it's like this, guys. You relationship guys, I mean, no guy wants to admit that his girl's cheating on him, right? I mean, you want to hope that your eyes are playing tricks on you. Maybe there's some explanation because, you don't want to admit that she's a piece of shit and, break your heart. But this is why it's good to consult, some people you can trust about these issues. And his fucking mom is defending her. My dad was silent for most of the conversation, but he eventually asked me what I thought. I told him I wanted to trust her and that I didn't think she would cheat on me. He shook his head and told me some things that I did not want to hear, but I think I needed to hear, as a good dad would. This is what he told me as close to what I can remember. He said, "You have a bunch of pictures of her not wearing her ring, hanging out with people you do not know. He said that she stopped calling and texting as much as she was before. No woman is going to take off her engagement ring in front of her friends. It's a status symbol and bragging rights." What'd I say? The only reason a woman is taking off her ring is if she doesn't want another man to know she's not available. Ding, ding, ding. And I'm sure that hurt to hear, but your dad's helping you. Then you have pictures of her with the same guy at 2 different locations doing things no engaged woman should be doing. Think about it. Who do you think took the pictures before? Rachel posted pictures of her and her friends, but the guy she's with in the background isn't in any of them. Why? Why is she trying to hide him if he's just an old high school friend? Exactly. I can still remember how stupid I felt when I told him that maybe she just didn't think about it. He laughed at me and asked me if I had hit my head, because no son of his could be that stupid. Whew, your dad is blunt. But you know what? It's like me smacking guys in this channel. You need it. If I really believe she wasn't cheating on me, then he fails somewhere along the lines of father. Now, in fairness, obviously, you didn't want to have to admit that she's cheating on you, because that means, you were wrong about her and you misjudged her and you feel like a fool and all that. But still, it's all there in front of you, brother. My mom tried to defend Rachel, saying that I shouldn't make any decisions until I had a chance to talk to her, and my dad stopped her cold. He told my mom, "It's obvious what she's doing, and if you defend her against our son, you can pack your shit and get out." Man, your dad is my new hero. Your dad, like I told you guys, dad's old school and dad is R-Pill without probably knowing what R-Pill is. Bitch, get out. Yeah, why is your mom defending her? Probably because your mom, well, we all know the answer to that one, which means your dad should be doing some investigating. But putting that aside, your mom's probably excited as can be for a wedding, excited to be a grandma, and letting that excitement get in the way of her loyalty to you. That started a little fight between my parents, but my mom admitted that more than likely she was cheating on me. Oh, thanks, Mom. Then my dad destroyed any hope I had been salvaging anything. He said, "She goes home a few times a year without you. How do you know this is the first time?" And he was right. I didn't, and if not for 3 unintended pictures, I wouldn't have found out. My dad told me, "She's shown you who she is when you're not around. Now you need to make a decision. Take her back and spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, and when she's out of sight, or drop her like a bad habit." Amen. I imagine you already know what I did since I'm talking about my ex-fiancée. Rachel was still going to be gone for a week, and that gave me plenty of time to move out of our apartment. Awesome, brother. There were only 3 months left in the lease. I moved back home and let the apartment complex know that I would not be renewing the lease. I paid my remaining share up front and then spent the next week avoiding Rachel's calls and texts, which by the end of the week was becoming more and more frantic. She's probably freaking out. I'm willing to bet you she's thinking that maybe he knows. But then again, if she hasn't heard from you for an entire week, you'd think that, if she really cared, it wouldn't be just frantic calls and texts. She'd probably be coming home early or something, or calling your parents to make sure you're okay. I don't hear anything about that. He says, I'm not a dick. I did pick her up from the airport when she got in and spent the entire ride to the apartment asking why I wasn't talking to her in the last week. I would have picked her up, but you wanted some answers, fair enough. I told her I was busy and we would talk when we got home. She tried telling me how much fun she had and how she wished I was with her, but I did not respond. What an asshole. When we got to the apartment, she wanted to go take a shower, but I asked her to sit down so we could talk. It was amazing. She did not look nervous at all. It made me wonder how many times she'd done this to me over the years. Right. Once a cheater, always a cheater, and I guarantee you, she's so casual about this whole thing, talking to you like everything's great and all right, nothing's wrong. She's been doing it a long time. She's 26 years old. She asked me what was going on, and I asked her how her trip was. She smiled and said she had fun catching up with her old friends. Then I asked her about her trip to the amusement park, and she said they had a great time. Not a shred of guilt on her face. If not for the pictures, I would have still been completely oblivious. It was scary to find out someone you spent so much of your life with can partition their emotions so effectively. Guys, they can be master liars. They are, let me rephrase it, are master liars. You just hope that they can use that against, not towards you or your loved ones, but towards, an enemy. And the Oscar goes to Rachel. I previously printed out some of the photos she posted and put the first one on the coffee table and asked her why she wasn't wearing her engagement ring, which was now on the back on her hand. It was the first time I saw her look nervous, and she hesitated, but only for a second or two before she said that she left it at her parents' house because she didn't want to risk losing it at the park. Losing at the park, these engagement rings, it seems like once they're on people's fingers, they have a hard time getting them off. What is she going to be doing at the park that's going to fly off on the roller coaster? Really? I said fine and dropped the second picture on the table, and she froze. I asked, so, who's the guy you're holding hands with? The first thing out of her mouth was actually funny after watching so many of your videos. She said, wait for it guys, it's not what you think. I told her, that's not what I asked you. Who is he? She went on to tell me he's just one of her friends from high school. Oh, so I guess in your high school, guys and gals hold hands all the time, even if they're not together. Okay. My mistake, honey. When I asked her why she worked so hard to keep him out of the pictures she shared on Facebook, she didn't have an answer, and that's when I dropped the last two pictures on the table. That showed him hugging her at the bar. Instead of excuses, what I got was tears and her promising it wasn't what it looked like and she could explain. All out of the Hobag handbook. Busted. But of course, she's got bullshit answers, and when there's no bullshit answers, the waterworks begin. Because her perception of you, bro, is that, she can bullshit you and cry and all that, and I've seen that before, but what I never hear is the explanation. So I told her, okay, you took off your ring. Spent the day with a guy I don't know, and you tried to hide from me and didn't bother to text me until 4 o'clock in the morning. Explain. If you've seen a fish out of water with his mouth moving but nothing coming out, you'll know what I was looking at. I waited for a minute or two, and she wasn't saying anything, so I told her to take off the ring. We're done. I paid my share of the rent, and I've already moved out. It was all pretty ugly, and she was swearing she didn't do anything. I told her, I don't care, I don't trust you. Good for you, bro. Let's just say, hypothetically, that every trip she took home to see her family, nothing happened. And this was the very first time, and she didn't sleep with the guy, or give him head in the bathroom, or make out with him. It was just taking off the ring and holding hands and hugging, whatever. Doesn't matter, because still, that's cheating. And she's lying, and she's full of shit. And again, nothing physical happened beyond hugging and hand-holding, which I don't believe at all. I guarantee it was coming. And she's deceiving you. And you cannot have a relationship without trust. So you did the right thing. And thank God for your old man. And by the way, what would have happened if you took his mom's advice? This is why I say don't take advice from women about relationships, pickups, or these types of things. This all went down about a month and a half ago. I'm living in my parents' house until I can get a place of my own, and Rachel and all our mutual friends are trying to talk me down. Of course they are. I'm sure you're getting bombarded by texts and phone calls every fucking day. But I told all of them to mind their own business. I can't prove she cheated on me physically, but she can't prove she did not. I'm not going to legally tie myself to someone I cannot trust. Like my dad told me many times, some things just require common sense. If there was any acceptable alternative, it would be something, but to take someone on faith when all the evidence is against it is a fool's errand. Again, your dad is right, but as a wise man once said, common sense isn't always that common. You'd be amazed, guys, as you get older, how rare actually common sense is. As for Rachel, she's had all her high school friends try to call me and say nothing was going on, but I've since blocked all of them. Good, bro. It is amazing, guys. It's always the same story. The gal's up to no good, she's busted, and then the guy gets bombarded by the texts and phone calls and any other form of communication from her friends. It's like, fuck off! I do not need this drama in my life, and I'm not going to put up with disrespect. I'm sure there are some guys out there who think I'm an idiot, but I can only follow my instincts. Maybe I was wrong about everything, but I doubt it. Hopefully you'll be able to find some sanity from my crazy life. Thank you for the work you do, SSM. The end. So there you go, guys. And obviously he said some guys are going to comment and say he's an idiot or overreacted or something like that. But regardless, you did what you had to do. And I respect that completely. And let me tell you, any guys that come on this channel and says you're an idiot in the comment section will be eviscerated by the guys here. This is one loyal community that has each other's backs. We are like the fucking League of Shadows. And these guys will come out of the shadows and attack anybody giving a good guy a hard time. I'm thinking a League of Shadows from Batman because I was watching Batman Begins last night. Awesome fucking movie, by the way. I haven't seen it in years. Tonight's The Dark Knight. But anyhow, bro, you did the right thing. And I'm sorry it happened to you. But you know what? If you can find a silver lining, at least this happened before you got married. If you married her and then discovered this shit, it'd make things so much more complicated. But you're 29. You got your whole life ahead of you. And as I say, there's so many guys in a situation similar to this. Take it one day at a time. It's going to be a roller coaster of emotions. You're going to have days that you're going to be thinking probably, or you've done it already, that maybe I overreacted or something like that, or who knows. Don't do it. Because aside from your dad probably ripping your arms off and beating you with them, I'll find you and track you down and smack the shit out of you. It's over. But again, be grateful that, this happened before you got married. And my only suggestion is take it one day at a time. Focus on your career, what you're doing for yourself. If you don't exercise already, start exercising. And I'm sure there's days you didn't want to come out of your house. I'm sure there's days you had temptations to bury your sorrow in the bottle, eat a bunch of junk food. Don't do that. I would spend time hanging out with people that got your back, like your dad. I would still be questioning your mom about all this bullshit. Your bros, that type of thing, and you're going to be okay. And the next time you get in a relationship, you're going to have this wisdom in there to help prevent any bullshit, or to at least to help screen future women, and also your radar will be very sharp. You can gain all this knowledge, guys. Doesn't mean that bullshit's not going to happen, but you'll know how to handle it when you start seeing red flags. So, bro, great story here. And I can tell you this right now. This all ended in June, so it's still the end of July here. I guarantee you, it ain't over. She's going to have a few last-ditch efforts to get in touch with you to get you to change your mind. If she hasn't shut up at your house or your work yet, tracking you down or stalking you and following you into the parking lot of McDonald's, she's going to reach out. There's going to be a few more attempts. Because they always come back. Guarantee you. And because she's not going to let this go so easily. She may even get her parents involved to try to intervene. Who knows? Don't fall for it. And so, bro, if there are any updates to your situation with her, any crazy last-ditch efforts, things you want to share, by all means, let me know. And we can help assist. Because we'll keep you from straying in case any thoughts of giving her a second chance come back. But I doubt that. So, guys, give this guy a shout out in the comment section. Let him know you got his back. Let him know that if there's any updates, ask him to write in. I'm sure he will. And we can help this guy get through this tough time. So, guys, like I said in the beginning, lots of lessons that start with the red flags, paying attention, that type of thing. And it's amazing how they're master liars right to your face all those years. Had a great time at the amusement park. Alright guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. I already said that. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.